A man must be delusional in order to be successful, because what we think we are, we become. And the emotions, the feelings behind that thinking is the secret. Let's talk about it. What we think we are. When you say I am, you are solidifying an identity. When you put emotion behind the I am, you are further solidifying the emotion. And through repetition, you embed this identity further and further. And just as the earth will grow any type of plant, poisonous, the mind will grow any thought or seed that is implanted into your brain, solidifying your identity. So when you say to yourself, I'm not good looking enough, and you repeat that over and over, and now emotions start to form, compounding as it constantly gets reiterated over time. Then you've now solidified in your identity the idea that you are not good looking. And that applies to who you want to be as an individual, you know, and the clues are in the archetypes of these TV shows that we watch. For example, I always gravitated towards the entrepreneur, the business person, the person of influence, the person who had power. And that archetype was attractive to me. And as I was meditating earlier on in my adult life, I realized that I always gravitated towards that archetype. And so I shouldn't resist it anymore. And so as I did that, I became happier. I knew who I was. I had a destiny. And then I took it a step further. I said, I love Andrew Carnegie and John Rockefeller and all these successful entrepreneurs. And I said, you know what? My goal is to be just as big, or if not bigger than them. And that is delusional. But I reiterated it. I compounded it. And now I know it to be a fact that it will happen. And the only thing that will stop me is death. And so by believing it so much and putting so much emotion and effort into it, I am now taking the steps that is needed to achieve that goal. You know, for example, I started hiring people. I started looking at the bigger picture in business. I no longer worried about the process like I used to. You know, I used to be like, oh no, I only got one view on this video and you know, 50 views on that video. What am I doing wrong? You know, constantly beating myself up. I no longer do that because I know it to be a fact that what I'm destined to be in this world is already happening. I'm already doing the things that is needed to be done to achieve my highest goal, which is to be a big, powerful businessman, entrepreneur. And it's very delusional. Just as when I was a kid, I thought I was the best looking guy in the room, but I still managed to attract women, right? Same with business. Now I'm attracting more business, right? So you have to be delusional. Think of the archetype that you gravitate towards when you watch a show and say, could I be that person? And then look up real life individuals who've achieved great things in that particular field and set your goal as being that and reiterate it, and the emotions will compound as a result of that constant reiterating of that identity. that desired identity. So my advice for this video is to be delusional and trust the process. Take it easy.